feels real good. Make me feel good. Hey. Make me feel good. That's Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. You know what? Gotta go back and watch that. It's all legal. Why do I do journals? What is, if I'm journaling, come on, like, journal, like, let it out. That's what happens when you journal. Am I gonna share? I'm gonna share. I'm gonna pour my heart out to a camera. Maybe it's about me being seen, you know, because I don't have a problem with journaling, right? And when you journal, you let yourself out, express yourself honestly on paper, the way I've done it. Creating content, so it's been more important, you know, to see what I'm making and creating and sharing. I just don't see the point in making any content at all if I'm not just like pouring my whole self out there. The other option is what, not doing that, or doing that to a fraction, doing that just to a degree, putting just a little bit of myself out there. I haven't even shared the story about my Kundalini experience. That's important. Okay, so here it is. I was 15 years old in Sacramento, California, and I had been exposed to the Course in Miracles and Conversations with God, written by Neil Donald Walsh. So many other spiritual, books that were along the vein, but these two, the set of books, series of books by Neil, and then the Course in Miracles. These two pieces of these parts of literature really had a profound effect on my consciousness and the way that I viewed life. They gave me new paradigms with which to understand what was going on, perceive existence in the universe. It was a beautiful conception that they were sharing, and it was better, it fit, and it made more sense. And from it came some incredible experiences in this one. And share with you, I didn't know what it was called when it happened, but later on, I looked it up. Thank you, internet, and it's called a Kundalini experience. And no apologies, right? You're ready when you're ready to share what you have to share. There are no shoulds that matter. We know we follow our heart, or we don't. But there's consequences either way. And by that we'll learn. We fail to learn. And learn to fail. But we grow. The growth is important. Okay, so the Kundalini experience. I was referencing those books because these books had me in a different universe. I was walking around. I was in 8th grade, I think, at Center Junior High School, and it was beautiful. It was very different from San Antonio, Texas. I was used to the southeast side, hood, Highlands Park, and all that. But anyways, in Sacramento, getting exposed to some really high-minded literature, and these teachings that were really beautiful and were lifting my spirit so high. So specifically, I was reading the Course in Miracles, but this copy of the book was it was like a like a first draft version or third draft version where you get to see all the notes. There was like in detail notes that you couldn't get from just picking up from Course in Miracles book. It's the manuscript. Yes. Okay. Yeah, the manuscript, and it was a fat book, all these fat white pages. It looked like you were really reading a textual manuscript of some sort, because the language of the Course in Miracles is wildly different. It's complex. It has to be. It has to get that complex in order to explain some shit, but it does so in such a way that it's not cheesy in any way. It's just straightforward psychological assistance. It's trying to help. Put it that way. Okay, that was the Course in Miracles I was referencing. And just to be clear, they say you can sum up the Course in Miracles in like 1 or 2 sentences. I think it goes like this: nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. But it has lessons. It has 365 lessons, I believe. And then it might not be 365. I got you. I have a copy, but it's got a manual for teachers, and it's got a lot of great stuff in it. I'm gonna start sharing more of that information, breaking it down, disseminating it. Anyways, Kundalini experience. So I'm 15. I'm in my room at my dad's house in Antelope, California. It's part of Sacramento, north side. It's really beautiful. And I had his bong, which was a glass bong. He'd started smoking. When I got to Cali, he wasn't smoking, but then he got a divorce. So he pulled a Kevin Spacey in American Beauty, and went 3 sheets to the wind. It just so happened that his daughter and son had just kind of got there in California and were trying to settle their lives. He's going through his midlife crisis and shit. Oh my goodness. It was good. Good times. It was good times. I don't regret it. It's fucking awesome. So I'm 15. I'm in my bedroom. It's like 10 o'clock. It must be like a Saturday because I'm enrolled in middle school at this point. I hit the bong. I hit my bong and my dad's bong and go into meditation because I've been practicing meditation more, and there was something extremely valuable there. But anyway, in this meditation, that's actually what happened in this meditation. So I have to describe what led up to. I have to describe something in terms of like how it felt. Okay, so I'm still in my chair. I'm sitting still in my chair. I'm doing my best to just let my mind quiet and just feeling my body. I must have been more embodied as a 15-year-old child, 15-year-old boy. Or maybe it was the weed. It doesn't really matter. For whatever reason, my body was like kind of vibrating a little bit. I just could feel a little electricity. And in the meditation, I started to feel, wherever I put my attention on in my body, like I focused on my hand, I would feel something there. I feel that little tickle of energy. So I started playing with it. I started playing with like that feeling because I wasn't doing anything else. They say don't focus on anything, right? In meditation. But I found something to focus on. And it felt good. And I followed it. And I started playing with it. And putting my attention on different parts of my bodies to feel that energy. It ended up being that I tried at a certain point, at a point where it was increasing in strength a little bit. I decided to put my attention on all my extremities, my hands and my feet, and slowly draw my attention across all of my limbs, all together, all coming to a central point. Because I don't know what gave me that idea, but that's what I was decided to do. So as I'm doing it, it's working. I'm feeling it throughout all my limbs, like this. It's like drawing a highlighter, through it. It's activating. It just felt very like energy, like a tickle. Light energy tickles, but then as it gets more intense, it feels good. Let me just put it that way. Anyway, when I brought it all to the center, to the very center point of my being, there was an explosion. There was an inner explosion. I can't explain it any other way. It was like an orgasm. The feeling of it was orgasmic. But the crazy part about this orgasm of just sitting in a chair and just being, there was nothing physical that was happening. It wasn't like an orgasm. This nirvana. It didn't have a start. And it didn't have to finish. If that makes any sense. In that space, in that moment of time, that feeling, that pleasure, that level of pleasure because it was the level of pleasure that you get at the peak of an orgasm. At the very peak, when it's at its strongest. And you're like, ah, and you're just like, eyes roll back into your head. Because, well, if you've ever had an orgasm, you know why. You know why you go back to it. Anyway, so the peak of the orgasm, I was in it. But it was a mental space. It was my state of being, and I was allowed to stay. I was staying in it. It changes you. There's something happens that like allows your mind, as it did mine, to just like totally reset in a way and just be like, wait, God is good. I was raised Catholic, so I had a lot of shame and guilt and, self-incriminating propaganda running through my head and mind. But this was experience. This was an experience of such other world treasure, such an other inner world. I found the box of treasure within us. And those are just words. They don't describe. They don't begin to describe being in that level of pleasure for as long as you want. For as long as you want. I didn't have to come out. But while I was in there, I changed. What did I say a second ago? I was like, yeah, oh God is good. Yeah, that's one of the things that became clear. Because I was like, this is God. Like, God made this. Or this is something He put inside us for us to be able to access. And it's been hidden. It's been hidden from us because it changes you. Let me describe a little bit about my consciousness after, like, in that moment, and then in the moments after I came out, or in that it lasted for about, I was in there for about like 30 minutes. Not even that long. It didn't take long for me to be sated. I felt fully charged of any energy I would ever need, and I didn't need to stay in there any longer. So wonderful and reassuring was that consciousness or space that I tapped into. And like, well, the orgasm, the pleasure, that like shifts your whole consciousness. But then you're just in the pleasure. Like, you don't, you're not really thinking until like later when you're like, okay, shall I come out of this? How long am I going to keep orgasming here? No, but it becomes exciting because you know that you're so different. I knew I was so different in terms of consciousness, and that I would be so different out in the world. I wanted to see what I was gonna learn from that space of coming back to the world and walking in Adam's shoes for for as long as that consciousness could hold on to. Lasted for about a day. But here's what happened. When I opened my eyes and looked around inside the room that I was in, and the house, the yard, going outside the house and seeing nature. I didn't have to be outside the house. My first thought was that I was seeing myself. I was seeing everything, but I was seeing myself in everything. And I think they call that a cosmic consciousness, where literally you see the consciousness of the one, of the ocean, of like everything. That everything is consciousness. And at that time, in that moment, consciousness was my identity. Like, not Adam or all of the sin and shame that went along with that character and sadness. Cops are here. I saw myself in everything, and I felt love. I felt such unconditional. I felt something in those moments that I didn't have the words to put on, but it was unconditional love. That what came across in that orgasmic space was that I really was unconditionally loved, and it's like it filled my cup so full that walking around in the moments after I came out of the meditation, I was so full of love. I was so full of that feeling of being unconditionally loved by the universe. That I couldn't help but love everything and everyone else. I didn't see anything as separate from myself. Everything was a part of me, and in the sense that I was everything, I wasn't afraid of anything. It was so strange. I wasn't afraid of anything because nothing was outside of me, outside of my own hand, essentially. So the fear of death I lost my fear of death from just looking at it, looking after it. Like, where did my fear of death go? That was interesting. Why am I not afraid to die? I remember asking myself that question in that space. What came was like something like this. I imagined that if someone would come into the house that I was in at the moment, 3124 Blackheath Drive, Antelope, California. Think house. In that moment of looking at death and imagining, I played a hypothetical that someone came into the house and wanted to kill me, shoot me dead, because I was challenging the fear of death, right? Like, why it wasn't there. And what my spirit said or imagined played out in its consciousness. It's so crazy. It's not crazy. Was that like it wouldn't even try to like stop this other part of itself from killing it. It like wouldn't care. Like if y'all want to do it, like it was like if y'all want to do that, kill me so badly like that you're gonna do that, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. It was like so nonchalant in a way about it, but it's different from self-care. You know, self-care is, and emotional intelligence is where you like put up boundaries and defend yourself. You don't allow yourself to be abused. This consciousness was like, I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna fuck. Oh, I remember. It was like, it was like, it was willing to do that. It was willing to be like that because that's what didn't fuck with its energy. That's what allowed it to be in such joy, such a state of like high vibration, is that like carrying around a fear of death will keep you down in energy. Carrying around a fear of death, essentially, like, that consciousness didn't lay down to the concept of an attack on it, an attack to its death, so much, because if it did, it wasn't going to carry around all this fear. That's what came through. That's what was clear. It's not going to be in fear. Fuck that. Not conceptually, not really, not conceptually, you know what I mean? Not even the shadow of like a threat. That's how that consciousness was living. And it was in so much joy. I felt so much, it was like existing in the world with inner peace. I tapped into a space within us that granted me inner peace inside and out. Of course, you have to go back in to tune into that space in order to replenish your cup, in order to fill your being and self with like all that goodness. This is the thing that's been hid from humanity. This is one of the thousands of things. But yeah, that's my testimony on the Kundalini. I went off. There's a little more to the story where I go, and I'm just seeing myself and loving myself throughout the day, like in such a high vibrational state. Miracles everything is connected, and I saw everything as a miracle and not as a mistake. There's no other way to describe it. It's as the Course in Miracles says, everything is either a miracle or nothing is, and that was literally my experience. I went from perceiving that nothing was a miracle to that everything was a miracle. And I was astounded and just overjoyed because it felt like being one with God. And we all have that. That's all inside of us. That free potential energy. I didn't give a fuck about. I didn't need. You don't want or need anything that we're trained to want and need in this world. When you experience that, you realize how the world is got us chasing our tails, and we traded it. We sold our souls and for nothing, as Dostoevsky says. The tragedy is that it was for nothing. a poisoned cheeseburger. Wanted to really like share this with everyone for a long time, but I had to heal my heart, all the emotional wounds and scars, all the scars that have formed from healing. It's been an incredible life, through and through. There's another story, there's other stories about what's going on right now that are true, about these other layers of existence, these realms of spirit that are right here with us. There's epic stories on what's going on because it's connected to us. That's what makes it kind of fun. Is like we're part of that story, and we don't even grasp that bigger picture of what's going on in terms of the angels and the demons that are around us constantly. It's fucking awesome. Scary sometimes, yeah, maybe. But fear is false evidence appearing real. Not that you don't want to protect yourself. Stay protected. Value yourself. That's treasure. Because you are. You're not trash. Not even like the way the government treats an animal, or is the way he treats a human being in a way. But we have treasure within us, and it's free to access. And if we all knew that, and we're like, you know what? Fuck chasing this external rainbow that you never reach the end of. It's an optical illusion. Fuck chasing that fake ass leprechaun with a pot of gold at the end of the goddamn rainbow. Tricks from fucking kids. Oh shit. There is a fucking real pot of gold. There is a real pot of gold inside you. And you can fucking run after that. You can chase that. Reverse the chase. Chase inward to this. Let's imagine it as the fucking Rainbow Road. Okay? There's the Yellow Brick Road, which is in Oz. This is the Rainbow Brick Road. And you have to go through it to get to the unlocking of that bottom chakra. When I brought all that energy together, it was right at the root chakra. I must have been guided by angels and masters, ascended masters. I know it. And what the material says is that the lock of that they describe as two serpents that are coiled together, or just one serpent that's like in really cold fucking lock. That's the moment where it becomes unlocked, and the energy shoots straight up. And that was my experience. It shot straight up and lit me up from head to toe. And when it got to this point, that's when my sight was different, but it was really like my consciousness changed. Okay, so I'm gonna recharge my battery here in a second, but my consciousness changed, and it's still going. Okay, cool. And I saw things so differently. I think that's a good metaphor. A good, third eye opening is basically like you just see everything differently. It's not even like, I grew a third eye, it fucking hurt. And then, like, I don't even know what I saw things very differently. And it was fucking awesome. Anyways, thank you so much, friends, family, Soul Tribe. There's no need to chase riches and fame or anything. Don't chase cheeseburgers or fucking all the things that we're addicted to are just a distraction. We're in a fucking evil ass fucking amusement park that's been built inside of God's matrix. God's matrix is good. We don't need to escape. It's heaven. But we're in a false matrix that's inside of another matrix. Do you understand? That's what's not coming with us. That's what needs to be dismantled. And it's just all part of the prophecy. So yeah, we are Pinocchio. We are like Pinocchio in that evil ass amusement park, being distracted, fucking, drinking, smoking, and turning ourselves into assholes. Donkeys and assholes. They're asses. Either way. That's the whole point. Distract you. Don't let them find out what they have. Don't let them find out the lottery that they're playing to be rich and be that billionaire, which is what inner peace grants you. It grants you your true inheritance. God, the connection with God, like a direct connection. Don't let them find out. Make him keep chasing a wish, because there is no future. There is only now. If you're not at peace now, you're not going to be in the next one. But if you are at peace now, you will be in the next moment. Alright, I gotta charge this shit. I love you.